I was a guest on a really cool podcast this morning called Integrity Restored with Mr. Jim O'Day. He's a good friend of mine. And we were talking about 5 things that you can do to avoid completely going off the rails during the holidays, especially with regards to falling into sinful habits. Jim works with a lot of people who are struggling with internet pornography addiction, and I've been a guest on his show a few times. And I found that the things we talked about could be really helpful regardless of whatever your particular temptations are, your issues are. I mean, the holidays are oftentimes full of stress. I mean, that's kind of sad because we're celebrating something amazing, but how many of us have really struggled with the things that we have to deal with during the holidays? Maybe you've got family and friends that are going to be around that you don't get along with, or you just find yourself becoming overwhelmed with anxiety and stress, and you can find yourself slipping into some bad habits or some sins that you want to avoid. So I shared with him, I'm going to share it with you, 5 ways for you to deal with the triggers of the holidays. And the first one is to take on something new. This is about really being proactive. And when I say take on something new, I'm talking about a spiritual discipline. So that might be adding a decade of the rosary, or maybe another set of mysteries of the rosary, extra time in prayer, reading something spiritual, because you're going to want to receive all the graces that you can. So by adding something into your life that's going to help you grow in holiness, that's going to give you more opportunity to be built up. Maybe you're going to go to daily mass more times or have extra time in prayer. I don't know what it is for you, but find a way, something in your life that you can do to add something in that's going to increase your spiritual growth. And the second thing is to give up something. Fasting is an incredible way to deal with lots of temptations in your life, not necessarily because that particular thing you're fasting from is bad, but because fasting helps us to tell our flesh that it's not the boss of us. And that's so important, because what can happen is, especially around the times of the holidays, they can be a time of overindulgence. And I'm not talking about indulgences. They can be a time of when we just sort of go, hey, I'm going to eat like garbage, or I'm going to drink everything I want, or I'm going to just become addicted to comfort or whatever. We can give ourselves a lot of passes when it comes to those things during the holidays, because it's a time to be with family and friends, and maybe we're going to just allow ourselves to not be as disciplined as normal. Well, when you fast in the midst of that, you're basically saying, nope, I'm not going to let the devil have a foothold in my life when it comes to showing me that I'm okay gratifying the desires of my flesh, even if they're not necessarily bad. When the bad things come along, if we've established this pattern that we're just going to do whatever our flesh wants us to, we're going to wind up in some bad spots. So find something that you can fast from in the holiday season and build up that spiritual muscle memory of saying no to your flesh, and you'll do better off. The third thing is to increase your frequency of confession. Maybe you already go to confession once a month or more, but whatever you need to do, try to get there at least once a week. Now, if you're already going once a week, you're probably good on this. But if, like a lot of us, you get super busy in the holiday times and confession is something that maybe you can just do once, hey, try going every week. And I bet you that's going to help, because here's the thing. When we have our slip-ups, when something gets the better of us, the devil oftentimes just tries to discourage us and tell us, hey, you already messed up. You might as well just go full board with this. And we don't want that to happen. So when we go to confession, we're basically starting from scratch. We're the slate's being wiped clean and we start anew. And you may need to do that every week during the holiday season. I think it would be a great thing for you to do. It's only a few weeks. So make that a habit. And you may even find that that's helpful to you to the point where you might want to continue that. So increase your confession frequency. Number 4 is you need someone who you can talk to about the things that are coming up for you in the holidays. If you're a guy, it needs to be another guy. If you're a girl, it needs to be another girl. Someone that you can talk to, that they know what you're struggling with, and they're going to talk to you every single day if necessary to help keep you on track. And it doesn't need to be a long, drawn-out conversation. It could just literally be a text in the morning. Hey, what have you got coming up today? I'll be praying for you for that specific situation. And the bonus of that is, because you know you'll be talking to that person every day, or every other day, whatever you decide, that there's going to be some accountability. So if you find yourself in a tempting situation, you know you're going to talk to your buddy about this. Now, that brings up a point. Don't make this person your priest, because your priest is there to give you the sacraments, but they're not going to have time to be your daily check-in, typically. So go to your priest for confession and for the sacraments, but have somebody else who you can really dig into with this stuff and walk through it with them. And what's even better is when you're both doing this mutually together so that you can help one another. And then number 5, and this could have been the first one, but I would say take a look at what you've got coming up and make a proactive decision to avoid or manage the things that you know are going to get you into trouble or potentially going to get you into trouble. So maybe there's a family member that you're going to be around or a friend that you're going to be around. And whenever you're with this person, you get into heated conversations or you start joking about inappropriate things and you always wind up going, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. Figure out a way for you to minimize that. Maybe don't engage in those conversations that you know are going to be troublesome. Maybe there's a Christmas party that your company throws and every year it gets crazy and you keep saying, man, why do I let that happen? Maybe you shouldn't go. Or if you do go, just go for 15 minutes, make an appearance and duck out. I don't know your particular situation, but sometimes we have to be proactive because when we're in the middle of those things, that's the worst time to try to react to whatever's triggering us. So look ahead, you know you. And be proactive to avoid or at least minimize being around those situations or those people that are going to lead you into sin. I know that this isn't really the kind of content I make a lot on this YouTube channel. It might sound like sort of self-helpy or some kind of psychobabble, but it's really not. I think it's a practical help to those of us who want to go into the holiday season really focused on what matters. And that's celebrating our faith, celebrating the coming of Christ. And we don't want to be robbed of the joy and the beauty of this incredible season because we're getting triggered by all this garbage that's trying to take us away from it. If you have something that you'd like to add, please feel free to share that in the comments. And if you'd like to listen to the podcast, you can go to Integrity Restored. They have podcasts wherever they're available, and you can listen to that. Mr. Jim O'Day does an incredible job. I'll leave a link to that website in the description of this video. I hope you guys are going to have a great holiday season. And hey, by the way, if you need something to do for your number 1 to add something and you don't pray the rosary every day with us, join us on the Rosary Crew. Every single day we pray the rosary live. Rosary Crew with Keith Nestor is the YouTube channel. Jump in. Hey, do Unpacking the Mass on this channel. You may be already doing these things, but if you're not, these are good opportunities for you as well. Friends, God bless you all. Thank you so much for watching this video. Take care, and I'll see you next time.